home of the misdemeanor homicide. There's a force at work here, something stronger than we can imagine. It lays dormant, waiting for the catalyst. All should fear the day he returns to town.
You're alive? You're the first thing I've seen come out of that hole with 4 normal limbs. I thought you were either dead or were going to turn into something else any minute. Pleased to meet you. I'm Rance Truman.
He seems eccentric, but harmless.
He will ruin you.
He's not what he seems.
Bleed him out. Splatter his brains. Kill, kill, kill.
You were
I don't think I will.
just like me. I can tell.
Alright, so I'm gonna just cut him off and let him run and run and run his mouth and not really let him speak too much. I will show every single piece of dialogue he has, however, at the end of the video, or at least at the the middle point of the chapter. I haven't decided yet. Me editing in post will decide. Jesus Christ. Rance Truman is the character that you see everywhere. Oh, I got him! That was quick. He is the character for the loading screens that you see all the notes for. He is the character in The Suffering that you see all the notes for there too. And you see a lot more notes from him in The Suffering than you do in Ties That Bind, which you barely see any notes at all in Ties That Bind, so that's the thing. You could have built up Baltimore as a character like you built up the island in the first game as a character, but I digress. Rance Truman is also voiced by a really cool guy who does a lot of work for National Geographic, and I think he's the host of American Ninja Warrior. It has been ages. Yeah, I think he is. I think he mentioned that to me when I talked to him for this. You're just sitting there without a chair? You're supposed to have a chair. Okay. A little bit broken. There's also supposed to be something on TV, but I guess that's gone. The voice actor for Rance Truman was actually decently easy-ish to find, and I think it's really interesting I could find him online, and he was willing to do a job for me. A small-time YouTuber on a YouTube channel. He is amazing. I recommend you guys check him out. David Markus. I will have him linked in the description of every single one of these episodes. Starting at the first one, too. Well, of course, every single one of these episodes. I don't even know why I felt the need to clarify, but yeah, he's there. He's really cool. I recommend you give him a shot. What was that? What was moving over there? It was wearing plaid. I don't like it. Plaid is the color of evil. Hey, that's me. Did I do that? Over here is a neat little Easter egg.
Flash before my eyes. Now it's time to die.
This is also a reference to a song and a band, and I don't know them. So I'm gonna just let that pop up on screen as necessary. I'm also swapping out the Tommy gun again. Yes, I know, the Tommy gun is great, but you get a lot of the Tommy gun in this chapter. Ooh!
You always had trouble getting your game on.
Okay. Odd. I don't know why that is so quiet, the knocking on doors, but it just is, I guess. Whoa. Nope, nope, nope.
You coming home? Yeah, your first home. It's not much farther. Trust.
I don't think I trust you. East Greenmount. Oh boy, we're almost there. So,
me. It'll be worth it.
we are in the slums. Torque's first home. Reload this revolver. Don't waste any time with these guys. Let's go to town. I think there's some other weapons around here, but I don't remember exactly where they are. I know the M60 is over there, but I could have sworn there was a grenade launcher somewhere over here. I guess not, maybe. I don't know.
You have
Break
a
down these
whole lot
boxes
to learn,
and...
player. Now follow me and get your schooling.
I don't think I like
Remember
you.
when you first start playing the game?
Woo! Huh? Ramblings on Devils. Oh, I very rarely get this note. And it's not because it's like rare or anything, it's because I always overlook it and I forgot to turn on my numpad. There we go. I see them as the three devils of Charm City. Copperfield was fiercely determined, yet never realized the horror of his actions. The Creeper understood the profound atrocities he was committing, but that just made him want to do more. And before relocating to Carnate, Dr. Killjoy got his infamous start here. For him, his noble ends always justified his cruel and unusual means. Oh! Oh, cool! This is one of the last messages you get from Rance Truman. And you never hear from him again. Ah, that's cool. Alright, I will save here then. Makes it easy to come back to. Huh? Ramblings on Baltimore. Oh, that's right. There's a few different ones around here. Oh, I absolutely love reading Rance Truman's stuff. It's the most interesting stuff in the game. You can't zoom in on these, though, so it's kind of hard for me to read it. Of course, that's just the dyslexia, because that's a thing. 100 years ago, people said Baltimore was destined for greatness. Today, one can only wonder what happened. Was it the Great Fire? The influx of illegal drugs? The legacy of slavery? Other cities had these same troubles and overcame them, yet somehow poor Baltimore has failed to pull itself out of the abyss of despair. Oh, I absolutely love Rance Truman's ramblings. Oh god! Alright, that was easy, but the turret here means there's more. I don't know what it is with mid-2000s games and turret segments. It doesn't make your game better. It just makes it weirder. Oh, there's gonna be another game I'm doing next year that has a turret segment that just doesn't make sense to have turret segments. Alright, got them all. Never mind. Not wasting time with this. There we go. All dead. Nope. Another metal arsonist.
You learned hard.
Ow, ow, ow. Stay away. Whoa! You didn't even have a spawn-in animation. You just popped into existence. What happened there? Oh, there's that. There's the grenade launcher. I don't actually want to use it. It's not good. It's not good for this last segment. It's only good for that one brief segment that I already used it in the game. It's not even a situational weapon. It's just not good.
Like the reflections in a shattered mirror, your psyche is delicate to the point of brittle. I've done what I can for you, for all the versions of you. Now your childhood home awaits. Your burden is to discover which shard of the mirror goes the deepest.
I don't like that, Killjoy. Don't talk to me like that.
Right up here is where you and me got started. Always keep your head up. Keep your mind in the game.
Okay.
Let the other guy make the first move. A player's got to have his eyes on the competition at all times.
Why is that brick glowing like that? Well, that's a seam. You can see into another scene with that. Oh, that's just terrible. This last level has to be one of the most rushed in the game.
Is it?
And I don't get it. You had such a great foundation for a series, oh god. And you kind of just let it fall flat, especially at the end. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's bad. I still absolutely love this game. I just don't like it as much as I like the original The Suffering anymore. No, 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 no. There we go. Oh my god. Right, there's some zombium right there at the corner. Transform, and now we can take these guys out. But I'm gonna do so from a distance. I think there's another one that pops up. I'm also kind of disappointed there weren't metal versions of every enemy. No! No, 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 no. Because the metal versions of enemies are really cool, and I really like their concept. It's just a shame we don't get more of them. This last little gauntlet here is utter nonsense. I hate every second of it. There's no sound. It's supposed to be, I think, emotionally impactful, but it really isn't emotionally impactful either. It's just not fun. Change back. Bunch of kids playing. Well, this is the Garvey Children's Home, where Tort grew up. Huh? Why did it all stop? Oh. To be creepy. Where is our karma resting at now, actually?
Keep the door locked. Don't let him.
We are 100% good 100% of the time.
He's a big bully. What are we gonna do? Help! Go away! We don't want you here!
I'm an old person now, it's fine. Wait, that doesn't make it better.
There are monsters out there!
Alright, yeah, 2 Metal Slayers spawn in. You can actually kill these guys in pretty quick succession. Did I say that right? Succession? Whatever. You guys know what I mean. I'm just functionally illiterate. Oh my god. Alright, I am joking about that functionally illiterate thing, don't worry. I can read mostly. Unlike 1/5 of Americans. Cataclysm attack expired. Let's transform back. I'm gonna have to build this up again. Oh no! Get me out of here! Okay, okay. Maybe that grenade launcher will come in handy. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh!
Come on, T. In here. You have to finish this now.
All right. I recommend picking up a Tommy gun here. It's one of the last weapons in the game you'll actually need to get.
Come on,
And by
T,
say need,
in
I mean
here.
it's cool.
You have to finish this now.
To have. Oh, let's save. Whoa, Cartman. Is she supposed to be visible there? Oh, it looks like she is, yeah. But it doesn't really work.
Born into this. How many tragedies start in childhood? Environment is everything, and when placed in jeopardy, children will imagine what they need to survive.
Hey there, my little one. Come over here. Come on now. I have to educate you. Do you know what you want to be when you grow up?
Happy.
Happy's not good enough. You've got to be a player. Then people respect you. You understand the difference?
I don't know.
That's okay, my little one. I've got years to teach
Who are
you.
you talking to?
Nobody.
Looks like this place was shut down ages ago. That was a flashback to Torque's past, as you could probably tell in all honesty, obviousness. Blackmore's been around since Torque was a kid, and other people can't see him. Much like the creature. Of course, it wouldn't be too surprising, considering how involved Killjoy is, that Blackmore is another facet of Torque's DID.
You recognize this place? You tried your best to grow up here, learn the game, but there's only so much a little one can do without family. Now our friend Rance, he thought he could sit this one out. Turns out, not so. I made his safe little haven not so safe. He's in it now. All his chips on the table. I don't think even you could bail him out. And you'd have to hurry.
Alright, what Blackmore says there is true. You have to rush back to him and, well, save him, of course. But you don't have a lot of time. And the streets are relatively empty, so you'll have a rough straight shot. Just keep in mind, this is your last karma choice of the game. It's not an exaggeration. It really is the last one. You don't have any more choices after this. Whoa! No, you guys aren't getting me. Nope. You can't win, I can't win. Ah! There we go! Alright, instead of flailing about wildly, let's just use our cataclysm.
Appreciate you coming back. When they started coming at me, I decided I would protect myself, but only up to a point. I did fairly well. That last batch, I don't think I could have taken them without extreme measures, so thank you.
Good deeds can sometimes lead to mixed results.
Ah, Blackmore, why'd you have to do that? There is a secret room here, just like in the first game, when it was close to the end, and I will be showing that off. It's behind this wall here. I'm just not going to be doing that during this. I've already got that set up and recorded, and everything's ready for that. I just, you know, don't have really rants. I just would prefer not to take away from the tension of the final moments. Anyways, let's head on back to Blackmore. Huh? What is that supposed to say? I actually can't read it. Torque's old neighborhood is very run down. He lived in a slum. He grew up in a slum, everyone hated him, and he grew up to be an incredibly dysfunctional adult. God, why does that sound so familiar? No, let's not do that. Any other notes or anything laying around? It doesn't look like it. Ah, now we can actually end this. Hey, you get... What are you doing? You waited all that time just to leave on me? Huh? Who's calling? Oh, you did that just so I would walk away. Well, that doesn't make sense because you were already... Why isn't it separated into floors correctly? Because that's... Okay. Save successful. Whoa. What? Oh.
These are the ties that bind us. You can't cut them. You can't burn them. You can't be rid of them. You just have to live with them. Or die with them, like Carmen, Corey, and Malcolm. You remember how that played out? Exactly how that played out?
Explain this to me. What did you do? Just like you said. We put her down. We put them all down.
I never said do it! Now they're gone! I don't think I could have ever done it. But it was the wrong kind we associated with. Untrustworthy, unprofessional. The kind who kills someone just because they get off on it. We've been through so much together. Do you remember?
Blackmore owns Eastern now. Particularly you two.
Blackmore's here? Where? Show me that shifty snake oil dealer. I've never laid eyes on him.
Hey, I know your old lady. Fucking nice rack.
The prime target is secure. Prepare to release the specimens.
That's funny. I thought I was there. I was there. In your eyes. Nobody else could see me. Those blackouts, there when I get my time. Get your body. Get to be me in the real world. Everybody else who knows Blackmore thinks I look like you. Because I am you. But we've only got the one body. And I'm tired of sharing.
The true end game is here. Blackmore was the Colonel, and was an alternate personality of Torque as well. And, oh, that's kind of scary, actually. Alright. We can open this door now. Kind of dumb, too. But this is quite the revelation for Torque. I don't know how predictable it was for other people, but for me, I actually didn't really realize until the very end of the game, and...
You really believe it's that easy?
Oh, not another one of you. Oh! Oh! You're eager. What hit me? Okay. If you have a full creature transformation and Blackmore manages to hit you, he'll steal it from you.
Both of us strength. Give me some credit.
That'll never hurt you. Yeah, because this battle takes place in what I think is Torque's subconscious. Or unconscious area thoughts. There's a lot it could be.
Not nearly.
But this is clearly not reality at this point because the sky has turned into Silent Hill. Oh, he didn't get me there, but he did get me there. Let us transform and go down the stairs, actually. Just in case. Oh! One hit killed him. The Cataclysm attack is an almost guaranteed win against this boss. You just have to hold out long enough to be able to hit him. There's so much of this fight we didn't see because of that, and I'm not really going to go back and make you guys go through that. I'll just tell you right now, the fight itself is challenging in a very not fun way because there's sometimes just too much going on for you to get a good amount of leeway or room to do things, but...
I forfeit. Now do it.
This is the end of Torque's story.
You played right. I couldn't get you to break the rules. And the way I play, it's all or nothing.
Times like this, it's hard to know what to say. You walked the line, T. You stayed true. And the happiness I know proves you were right. Even with what happened to me, the ties that bind us are too strong. No one else can compete. And I mean it this time when I say, I never want us to be apart again.
Well, that's it. What do you guys think? Now, of course, there's so many other endings. If you have carryover data, there's 3 endings for each of the 3 paths you can take. On top of that, there's 3 endings for each path you can take without carryover endings. And you have a total of, I think, 15 endings? Counting if you played the original Suffering Prison as Hell. I don't have, and I'm unable to get 2 of those endings, which are the no carryover neutral and the no carryover bad, I believe. It's either bad or good, but those will all be on screen otherwise. And the reason I'm unable to get that is because I've encountered significant bugs in the process and I'm unable to capture from a PlayStation 2 or Xbox in order to get the footage from the original consoles for this. And the only way I can find a solution to get those endings is a clean install on an entirely separate device, and I just don't have the time or the money for that. My review for this game is this. Play the game with the all-in-one patch on PC, which is the definitive way to play the game these days. do that, get it off of GOG. It's oftentimes down to like $1 or $5. And Avalanche Reviews did a big thing back I think last month or the month before that, where this game got a huge discount. And Avalanche Reviews is cool, so go check him out. I hope I get some of the traction from his videos on mine. My thoughts on this game. Oh, they're so complicated because I started off really loving this game, but the more and more of it I played, the more gaps I noticed between this and the first game. Whereas the first game, the characters are great, and you don't really get Torque characterized all that much. This game focuses incredibly heavily on Torque and his character arc and rounding that off. And you can really feel that difference. It sometimes, to people, feels like it's written by an entirely separate person, but in reality, it's not. It's the same teams that did it. Sure, they expanded a bit, and they had a bit extra stuff going on, but this game cost an absolute ton of money to make and flopped in comparison to the first game. The first game sold over 1 million units. And in this game, it sold only around 200,000. It sold around 1/5 of that, and they spent way more money on it. And if I didn't know any better, I would say this is a money laundering scheme. I know it's not, because of the company that made it. But at the end of the day, it borderline feels like it because of the amount of money that went into this game for it to just be not that good. If you want a good survival horror experience with psychological and body horror elements, you play the first one. If you want a more mindless action-based shooter, you play this one. And I can't really say it's inherently mindless because there's a lot of stuff and a lot of lore in this game too that significantly deepens the experience of the suffering. It's just such a it's so inherently and unfairly weighed in the favor of more action, less ambience and world building, and just entirely focusing, almost entirely focusing on Torque. The gameplay itself, though, is really fun and for the most part really smooth. There's a good bit of unfair elements, of course, in the game, such as when you're trying to stand up around the, I think it's the man-at-arms. Yeah, they don't do well. They're not well balanced. And they're an enemy you fight a lot of near the ends. I don't understand the choices. Some of them just don't make a lot of sense. There is another thing I wanted to say. Well, besides, thank you, David Markus, for lending me your voice talents for this and the original The Suffering, reprising your role as Rance Truman to read off notes on a loading screen. That is super cool. There are several takes of each of these, and each of them are going to go up, and at some point in the future, because it's really cool, it's really neat that he actually came back and did this, and it's really cool that he was willing to do this for me. But like I said, one more thing other than this. I talked with a friend who has dissociative identity disorder, which was known during the time period of The Suffering's release as multiple personality disorder. It's apparently very accurate for the most part. There's some leeway with the supernatural elements, but they built up Torque as a generally good character. As a generally good character with flaws that try to do his best, and on top of that, it was the multiple personality disorder, or dissociative identity disorder, that really made Torque into a monster, air quotes. Well, I mean, literally, also, technically, because of his transformation. But it's something that no one else can see and no one else can notice, just that Torque is suddenly super strong and super powerful. And he at least came to terms and peace with the monster. But he didn't come to terms until the end with Blackmore. And Blackmore still fought to be the dominant personality. And, of course, that's a more supernatural element to the game. So I can't really say that that's fundamentally a flaw, because the game series is just rooted in the supernatural. There's some scientific here and there, but it's so rooted in the supernatural, it's hard to overlook. But yeah, up on screen is the message from this person, and they're super cool, and I talked to them about it, and they're like, yeah, it's pretty accurate, actually, to how things work. And I like that. I like that a lot. There was a lot of research and effort put into understanding this disorder and making what I believe Torque to be a good person, because it's very clear the developers want Torque to be a good person. They build up every good ending and every good route to push you to play the good person. And in this game, it's a little bit more neutral, but you still are rewarded much more significantly for being a good person at the end, because not only does Torque get peace, and his wife get peace, that's her tombstone there, but you also get overall in gameplay better upgrades, more healing, an overall cooler looking monster in my opinion, but the evil version is also pretty cool. And that's it really. That's all I have to, I guess it's that the developers really did think Torque was a good person, or they believed that the narrative pushed towards Torque being a good person, and thus did so. I don't think this is wrong. I don't think this is bad, but I think this pushes that Torque was himself a good person and just had the flaws of a bad upbringing that caused him to have problems that throughout both games you help him work through greatly. I would have loved to see a third game, but I'm also kind of glad it ended here, because otherwise we would have gotten... We might have gotten a significantly worse project, honestly, because this game was about half the game I remember it being from when I started to when I saw the end. And I've spent over 2 years working on this because it's an obscure game now. It's a really obscure series now, and it's really sad. Oh, that's an interesting thing. A demon who wears his victims and masquerades as a human being. That's scary. But my ranking for this game is, if you really liked The Suffering, you will really like this game. If you really like the world building of The Suffering, you'll be okay with this game. But I don't inherently recommend it, and I'd probably give it a 3 out of 5. From here, you can actually check archives, and if you beat the game on impossible difficulty, there's another ending that you can get where it shows you a bunch of content that was cut and a bunch of ideas that were used, which I think is kind of interesting considering there was only 1 year between the releases here, but I really wanted to know what that unused content was and what it would produce, because that seems really interesting to me. I don't have this myself, but there's this really awesome channel that I'll link to in the description and pop up on screen now that'll tell you exactly where to go to get those. And he has the impossible beaten ending on his channel, and I'm just not that good enough at shooters to even accomplish that. So, yeah, that's about it. It's kind of sad for me to finish playing this game, but after playing it for so long, I am completely burnt out on it. And there's been so many issues, like being unable to get endings and bugs happening so many times, that I can't recommend, I don't want to keep playing this. This is one of the few Let's Plays I've done where I'm just done with it. I'm not looking forward to more. Now, if they remastered these and made a third game, I would totally do it, hands down. I'd buy it at the $60 value. Because these games are just that good and that fun. But as it stands, $5 deal on GOG, go for it. 3 out of 5. I hope you all have a wonderful day. If you like my stuff, you know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, check my Patreon, Coffee, Twitter in the description if you want to support my channel, yada, yada, yada. I will see you guys next time for some more different games before I go into Harvest Moon in December. Well, uploading on December. I'm hoping to have it done by November. But, yeah. Thank you guys, and I will see you then. Bye.
You're just part of the suffering, aren't you? Don't you understand? They wouldn't let me kill myself. What chance do you have?
Impressive. The world did not need his kind anymore.
You're alive? You're the first thing I've seen come out of that hole with 4 normal limbs. I thought you were either dead or were going to turn into something else any minute. Pleased to meet you. I'm Rance Truman.
He seems eccentric, but harmless.
He will ruin you.
He's not what he seems.
Bleed him out. Splatter his brains. Kill, kill, kill.
You were an abbot, just like me. I could tell from the pants, of course, but also your eyes. The eyes can't hide what they have seen. They transferred me out of Abbott when I wouldn't stop talking about what I'd learned. They thought Eastern would be better for me. They were wrong. I'm just waiting down here. I escaped from Eastern during the Cataclysm. Ran my legs tired out there for a while. Dropped too many of my papers, I'm sad to say. Now I'm just going to stay right here in this strange oasis. The things come out of that hole and then they go right up those stairs. Don't even stop to say hello. It's as if they know I'm special. Don't want to bother me. To look at it, you might think Carnate was somewhere unique in its evil. But now I'm sure you'd agree. Everywhere you go, the soil is saturated with blood. You've heard about the Warden from Eastern? Not Junior. His father. Warden Elroy the First. The one that kept inmates in solitary until their brains melted. And he was coming up in the ranks at the time of the Great Fire under the machine shop. Makes you wonder. Of course, in the end, Warden Elroy the Senior got his in a riot. The inmates paid dearly for that one. They never got the bloodstains out of the lunchroom floor. This whole city was built on the backs of the exploited. Even in Monument City, you don't see a memorial to the ones that died in construction cave-ins. It was cheaper to hire another Irishman than to have safe conditions. Underground Railroad came through here, and these days that usually makes people feel proud. Too bad the infamous slave hunter Copperfield came to Baltimore one dark day and had his mutts eat all the slave flesh they could find. And you've heard of the Reverend over at the soup kitchen? During the shortages of the Depression, he found some perfectly fresh human corpses and fed the hungry with them. I never understood why that upset everyone so much. In this city, if a prostitute is reported missing, report goes right in the trash. If they counted, they'd know that a few decades back, 71 street workers disappeared. Cops don't know about Luther Stickwell, but the underground knows him well enough to call him the Creeper. Once I tried that trick on myself with that sharpened spoon, they transferred me out of Abbott. And now look what's happened there. It's exactly like I said. I just wanted to tell them the truth. And now the truth has come to Baltimore. I've seen men hung from trees in the name of justice. I've seen dealers lead their own neighborhoods into the abyss. I've seen people melted in preventable fires. I've seen infants born with the bug. Yet some people still hold on to hope. Amazing. When the rantings of the madmen start to make sense, is that when you realize they're not so mad? Or do you admit that you've just joined the ranks? I've been watching this suffering for a long time. And let me tell you, it isn't pretty. When I tried to end it all, they called me crazy. That was the most sane thing I ever did. I could not bear to witness it all any longer. When the rantings of the madmen start to make sense, is that when you realize they're not so mad? Or do you admit that you've just joined the ranks? I've been watching this suffering for a long time. Let me tell you, it isn't pretty.
Dr. Killjoy made the voices in my head go away. Now all I hear is his voice.
I've seen men hung from trees.
You get up in me, I get up in you.
Daddy! I opened the door for you.
I see you. You see me? You want in? I can make that happen. Stand clear. Cover your ears. You're in. Finish this.
Blackmore. Blackmore is one of the multiple fictional personalities of our prime target, Torque. Blackmore is highly intelligent, fiercely determined, and brilliantly charismatic, but is only dominant a small percentage of the time. Nevertheless, he's managed to build a substantial criminal empire and has been using his ill-gotten gains to fund the Foundation. He's included here because of his unique connection to the malefactors.